Ladies and gentlemen, today was a pretty big day in general for gaming, but more specifically for Call of Duty, as we got the official Modern Warfare Spec Ops reveal. Now, this is the last thing teased on the Road to Launch roadmap that we have for the game, so between now and October 25th, there probably won't be a ton of new reveals coming straight from the devs, but the leaks will probably keep piling up as we get closer and closer to the 25th. And of course, once those early copies make their way into the hands of players, we'll have some even crazier information to cover. But nonetheless, today we got the final big reveal for Modern Warfare's main modes with Special Operations, or Spec Ops as it is better known. And, well, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty awesome. The reveal came to us in the form of a brand new trailer, so that's what you guys are seeing in the background right now. And today we are going to be breaking down the intel we got regarding the Spec Ops mode. Before we jump into all of that though, if you guys are new here and you want to keep up with all of the latest news and intel within the Call of Duty universe, feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when a new video goes live. And of course, if you enjoyed this one, let me know by dropping a like rating on it, as it does really help out the channel. And now let's get into MW's Spec Ops mode and everything we learned about it today. So first and foremost, let's run through the trailer itself and pick out what various things we can see from that alone. And then we'll also run through the additional details that were released earlier today as well. One of the very first things that we end up seeing in this trailer is some kind of radioactive bomb, a nuke of some sorts, so that will presumably be involved in the Spec Ops story in one way or another. And then shortly after that, we end up getting a look at some of the operators for multiplayer once more, and as we know, the campaign, Spec Ops, and multiplayer modes this year are all intertwined and connected, thus why we see them crossing over from mode to mode. The mode is seen being described as a 4-player co-op on a massive scale, which gives it a bit more of an open world type of feel, which would certainly be an interesting take on Spec Ops, and one that honestly I'd be very excited for. We also end up seeing that some of the field upgrades will be available in Spec Ops as well, as the deployable barricade can be seen in one shot, and we also get a glimpse of the Juggernaut suit once more here, and also the downed player mechanics as well, and apparently just one stim shot to the chest and you're pretty much good to go if you go down in Spec Ops according to this trailer. We then see a shot from what appears to be an AC-130-like streak, and we get a glimpse of a brand new vehicle that's a bit more of an open SUV that's almost got an exposed cage on it, almost a dune buggy thing of sorts, and I'm curious to see if that's going to be available as a vehicle in Ground War over in multiplayer. Anyways, most of this trailer seems to take place in or around an airport, and in the closing scenes from it, a lot of the action is taking place inside of an airplane itself, in a mission that seems very similar to Mile High Club, which of course is one of the most iconic missions in all of Call of Duty history. Then, at the very end of the trailer, in classic Call of Duty fashion, we ended up getting a bit of a teaser scene, if you will, where we get a sneak peek of one of the villains within the game as he towers over a downed player in a scene that looks awfully familiar if you've played through the Modern Warfare campaigns in the past. So all around, the trailer showed off quite a bit of stuff in general. Now, alongside the trailer, we also gained a ton of additional intel about the mode today as well, so let's run through all of that here briefly. First and foremost, Spec Ops consists of 4-player match-made activities known as operations. In these operations, you'll be able to find many of the kill streaks from multiplayer like airstrikes and UAVs, as well as plenty of vehicles, including tanks, helicopters, and ATVs, and I would also assume that dune buggy-like vehicle that we mentioned earlier. The overall objective of Spec Ops is to take down the Al-Qatala army, which you will be plenty familiar with if you end up playing through the game's campaign. At launch, we'll end up having 4 multi-stage operations to experience, and even more will be added to the game throughout the DLC season, and, this is very important, all of the post-launch operations will be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC at the same exact time. Obviously, that is some pretty big news there, and we'll have some more information on exclusive content later on in the video. There are also additional missions available in Spec Ops, which are a more curated experience compared to the operations, and these missions can be played solo or with up to 4 players, and when completing these, you'll end up receiving a 1, 2, or 3-star ranking, just like back in the OG Spec Ops modes. On top of that, things you'll unlock in Spec Ops like items and equipment can also be used in multiplayer too, and you can also use your multiplayer classes in Spec Ops as well, so there's a lot of cross-mode progression there. Now, Spec Ops also comes with 6 different roles to choose from as you enter a match, each with their own field upgrade and certain perk. And those roles consist of Assault, Recon, Engineer, Demolition, Medic, and also Heavy. As far as the kill streaks go, these are actually used through munitions that you have to find on the map in random locations. And then finally for today's intel for Spec Ops, in regards to the survival mode, the ever so controversial survival mode, this mode will in fact launch as an exclusive on PS4 until October 1st of 2020, where it will then open up to Xbox and PC as well, so that has now been officially confirmed once again. Now, upon launch for PS4, we'll end up having 3 multiplayer maps to play the survival mode on, however those maps have yet to be named. Now, outside of the Spec Ops reveal, we also got some brand new intel on the microtransaction system today that I figured was worth mentioning just because it is pretty interesting, and obviously the topic of MTX in Modern Warfare is a pretty hot one to say the least. Joel Emsley has been one of the main devs from Infinity Ward that has been very active on social media since the game's reveal. And over on Reddit last night, he ended up responding to a comment and somewhat addressed the MTX situation in MW. Reddit user Devinate commented saying, "I appreciate you guys at IW immensely. You can tell the game has had a lot of hard work going into it. We just want some clear answers on the MTX system, specifically because BO4's MTX system existed purely to wring the consumer out of money, and we would hate to see that happen to Modern Warfare." Now, to this, Joel Emsley replies by saying, "Thanks for the kind words and apologies for the late response. What I can say is that we are focused on making a different system for Modern Warfare, one with a direct path to content for players." So, a direct path to content. That really isn't the most detailed answer in the world, nor does it shed a ton of light on what this MTX system is going to be like, but I will say that this makes it seem like it's going to be a system that takes playing just as seriously as paying. Black Ops 4 very clearly focused on paying over playing, so perhaps this upcoming year we'll see the shop items be earnable through certain contracts, or maybe there'll be a currency in-game that you acquire through playtime or other various challenges, or just something of that nature that takes some of the focus away from everyone's wallets at the end of the day. Truthfully here, I really hope we see a system like World War II's, where we had the armory credits currency and the collections, or Infinite Warfare's, where a lot of the content was buyable through salvage. Those two systems I feel like really gave players who just wanted to play the game plenty of things to look forward to, and I really hope that same experience comes back this year in MW. I also mentioned at the very start of the video that today was a pretty big day for gaming in general, and I said that because this morning we also got the confirmation that the PlayStation 5 is in fact a thing that has been officially confirmed by Sony now, and it will be releasing during the 2020 holiday season. On top of that, apparently this image here of the PS5 dev kit is actually a very real thing. Now, this is not necessarily what the actual PS5 will look like when it's released for everyone next year, but rather this is strictly the dev kit that certain developers have access to now. And we also learned that there will be a brand new UI for the PS5, and also a brand new controller. Specifically, on the new UI, you can see what parts of the game have been updated. So for instance, you can see multiplayer, single player, and whatever other modes a game may offer individually, and also update them as such. And on the controller itself, the new controller is said to have a USB Type-C connection, alongside haptic feedback to replace rumbles, adaptive triggers, a brand new speaker system, better battery life, and it'll apparently be slightly heavier than a DualShock 4 controller, but still lighter than an Xbox One controller. So yeah, today was a pretty big day for gaming in general, to say the least. With all of that being said though, that is effectively everything we learned today about Modern Warfare's Spec Ops mode, alongside some brand new MTX Intel and some new PS5 news as well. And that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, give it a big old thumbs up, as it would be much appreciated and it does really help out the channel. And of course, if you are new here and you want to stay on top of everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, ranging from news to leaks to updates and pretty much everything else in between, feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when a new video goes live. As always, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all G Fuel, Control Freak, and Respawn products. All of those links are listed down in the description below, and once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.